So there are certain individuals out there that feel that their pants need to sort of restrict blood flow.
Hang on.
Welcome to episode 27
of Hang On, the podcast.
I like this. This is your first idea I've ever liked. What's your price? We'll call it this segment. What's your price?
Okay. How much would I pay for a good or service?
No. What's your price? You start a business and it's successful and someone comes and offers to buy you out.
Oh, how much do I need to say, yeah, I'm out?
Yeah.
I think based on looking at the math, my first company, I would need to make enough money so that I could sell it, get out, and never have to work again and have a pretty good lifestyle. So you need a few mil and then hoping that whatever interest rate saves you from economic growth.
And do you try to work in some sort of royalties of some sort, or what's your,
It definitely depends. If I'm selling an item, yeah, sure, royalties sound great. But I have a feeling I would be the one selling like a storefront or just leave the dog in. Just let people know the struggle. Yeah, enough to retire. And whatever my next project is, have enough money to get that off the ground.
So
What about you?
I kind of feel like it depends, So the two business ideas. So this is episode 23, but there's only really been two business ideas.
27.
So 27. So the two business ideas before. So the planes, tanks, all that good jazz. I don't know if I would sell out of that one, because that would be something I would enjoy doing, kind of regardless. I don't want to say regardless of how much money I made, but I would keep doing that for not a ton of money because it would be enjoyable. Like LSD Planet dating app, I would sell out of that. I would sell out of that.
Yeah, I agree. If it's something where I would get a lot of value out of still owning the company, maybe it's a little bit intangible. Hang on to it or a part of it or work out some kind of deal where you can hang on to it. But otherwise, I'm out. I'm on to the next idea.
Yeah, Audi 3000, yeah.
Yeah, everything's going to fail every time.
Yeah, and that's the point. It's you got to know when to get out. And I think that would be the part that would be hard because it would be sickening to sell out for, $5 or $10 million. And you're super excited because you got $5 or $10 million. And don't get me wrong, $5 or $10 million, nothing to scoff at. More than probably any of the three of us will ever have because we're sitting here doing a podcast. But, and then your company that you sold for $5 or $10 million 5 years down the road is now worth, $200, $300 million. That would be
enough to be the plot of Breaking Bad.
Yeah. I think that's actually the guy who invented Victoria's Secret. I think he sold it for $5 million and then committed suicide 10 years later when it was worth $1 billion. So I don't know. Maybe we can get some research on that, but I'm pretty certain that's a true story and I didn't just make it up.
So the interesting part about that is maybe he worked an agreement where he could be at the original store still. So he just sold, Victoria's Secret items at the store, and they moved on.
Yeah.
And opened a million stores.
Yeah.
And he's still stuck at the same one.
Yeah.
This isn't going anywhere.
Speaking of Victoria's Secret, what an interesting, how they have, I want to say a monopoly on imagine if there was a store that had a monopoly on men's underwear. You know what I'm saying? And you had to go to that store, to get.
That really feels like a segue into our sponsor this week, which we don't have.
Yeah, it really does. So anyway, today's business word of the week, intellectual property.
And what is intellectual property?
I clearly don't know because we're doing this podcast.
So intellectual property is clearly defined as anything you hear on a podcast, and then you go out and make $1 million, and you have to pay the people on the podcast for the idea.
15%, I think, is what.
It's a legally minimum 15%.
Is that binding in some states? Since we said it here, and
yes.
If you're listening, is that binding?
It's also international.
Yeah. Is that a verbal contract?
Yeah. Also, if you click Google Translate, it's a contract. For all of our German listeners out there.
Sprechen Sie Deutsch.
Man, I hope there's one German guy who's putting this into Google Translate like, oh, this is gold. It's just, if they would just stop laughing so much, it would be an appreciable podcast.
Oh, man. All right, so anyway, moving on to...
So speaking of underwear, I
Okay.
have an idea, not a business, but an item
Okay.
that would be great on one of those late night infomercials.
Okay.
It is a jock strap with a shape on it. So there are certain individuals out there that feel that their pants need to sort of restrict blood flow. So there's so it's really in fashion right now to not have 100% blood flow going into your upper thighs.
That's definitely true. 100%. Across the board. I mean, and across the generations. I mean...
So it's a jock strap that we'll say either has a built-in plate. So this device is something that gives you support and comfort and confidence.
Okay. Now I'm out.
You're out.
Yeah, I'm out.
But you didn't even get to see the shapes and sizes.
Okay, what are the shapes and sizes here? Are they colored? They smell? Are they like flavored?
No. It's just sort of like an indent to like let people know that you're definitely afraid to show them the real bits.
Okay. Now I'm out.
You don't think these would sell?
What kind of comical... So we're talking obviously...
Yeah,
imprint,
or subtle.
Okay. Now I'm out.
Awesome.
What would be the name of it?
I don't have any idea. I don't even have a good pun for it. I had an idea for family visits. Because most of the time, if you have a spare bedroom, you just have a bed in there and you just hope someone comes to visit you. And when they do, you're great you have that bed in there. But otherwise, you'd rather have a desk or
I
something.
talk to people like this. I talk to people about this all the time. I'm like, why are you going to make a spare bedroom so somebody can use it 1 week collectively out of the year that you're going to have a spare bedroom? Like, I feel like it's such a waste.
So my idea is simply a moving company that when your parents are coming in town, they show up at your house, they move your office and desk furniture out, they bring you in
Maybe
a bed.
put it in like a pod or something, like a pod or like a storage unit type thing, or a climate controlled. Yeah.
Absolutely. That way, when your family comes in town, you got the room for them, you'll save on the hotel bills, and your family gets to stay with you at home.
I actually really like this idea. So you get... I like this. This is your first idea I've ever liked.
He's not talking about 3 podcasts either.
If you could see my face, this is 6 months of listening to this guy. This is the first idea I've ever liked.
No, this one has wheels.
I'm in. Yes. All right. So, all right. Yeah. So you have your normal room and you put whatever you want in there. Like, so your home office, your game room, your dog's
sex dungeon.
room,
Yeah.
your sex swing, like whatever you want. For the sex dungeon, do they offer like an additional service to like clean? Actually, that regardless of sex dungeon or game room or whatever, should have a.
I feel like that's the same cleaning products.
Yeah, and the same contaminant. But so they come in, they move all your stuff out, pack it up, move it out, clean, and then move in. Ooh, here's a question. All right.
Yeah.
Do these people just have like a warehouse of like bedroom furniture and bedroom stuff that they move in? You like pick it out on the internet.
You have 2 options.
Or do
One,
so I like this option better. I'm just going to stop you here because my idea is better. So you don't actually own the bedroom furniture, okay?
Not necessarily.
No, you don't.
Okay.
Well, that'd be stupid. Why would you own bedroom furniture if you didn't need it? Like,
It's also a way to get rid of a mattress.
we could donate or sell it. I don't know.
Ooh, what do you think about something where when your parents are coming in town, you know how your mom likes it super soft, but like your brother needs like a medium firmness? Be able to select what mattress.
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, like,
Yeah.
when you go on and you book this, you select the date. So it's going to be online. on the app or online or whatever, you're going to select a date that you want them to come move your room out. And then you're going to select what type of bed you want, what size bed you want, what mattress you want. It's all going to be a la carte too. So like what size, fresh sheets, they're going to have like fresh laundered sheets so you can pick them out. That way when your in-laws come in town, right, you can, every time they'll have maybe like new sheets or new design. And they're going to think that you have, that you're constantly remodeling the spare bedroom for them.
That's true. Or they've heard of this wildly successful app that we came.
Yeah, I mean, at that point. But still, I like that idea. That way you don't have to go out and spend the money. Because like a bedroom, like even a cheap bedroom suit, like with all the stuff and like comforter and mattress, a decent mattress and sheets and pillows and all that stuff, you're going to spend
thousands.
Yeah, $1,500 I'm going to say is the cheapest. You know what I'm saying? And then you got your parents sleeping on some shitty mattress you bought at the used consignment mattress store or the like Goodwill store.
Right, I found it outside on my neighbor's
Yeah, they're
driveway.
sleeping on.
It hadn't rained yet.
They're sleeping on sheets from Walmart. Nothing against Walmart. I don't know. Can we say what? Anyway.
Yeah.
And it's the cheapest bed you could find. Here, they're gonna get a king size bed instead of that twin that you're trying to make your 6'3" dad sleep on.
Yeah.
And you don't have to pay for it. I mean, you're paying for it by the week or by the month, or however long they're going to be there, the day or the week, but you're not having to invest that, $1,500 or $2,500 off the bat to buy this bedroom suit that you're not going to buy, and you get to use your house.
I'm also thinking about the couples that are getting a little bit older and they have kids that have kids. So, hey, you don't have a crib in your house? That's normal, right? Hey, wouldn't it be nice if you had the crib there? We could tack on a crib fee. Or if you got a bunch of kids coming up to visit, you got 32 grandchildren, we'll do bunk beds. We'll have things that
Bunk
you
beds.
wouldn't.
Maybe you could even include in like things that you'd like to have in. Now we're just turning into Rent-A-Center, but this is a little bit different. So
Yeah, it's delivered.
like maybe like your grandparents, right? And you want the bunk beds or the crib or whatever the case may be, and maybe you get like some TV with like some video game stuff because your grandparents, you guys don't have video game stuff or like toys or random things. I feel like that would be a little bit harder to do and wouldn't be like the initial launch, but definitely down the road you could start adding in things like that. So let's say this takes off, right?
Right.
Yeah, million users. Because I really like that idea because how many people have bought a 3-bedroom house when they really only needed a 2-bedroom, but they wanted to turn 1 bedroom into an office, but they also wanted to have a spare bedroom. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like that happens, I feel like, all the time. So does this change have a drastic change on the housing market in an area where this is popular? So where 3 bedrooms become
5?
almost unsellable.
Yeah.
And like now 2 bedrooms are all the rage.
I mean, that's interesting, right? I feel like anytime your family comes in town or even a friend, you're not going to use that room for a, if it's a den or if it's an office, you're probably going to not use it for that weekend.
Yeah. What if also kind of even taking it further, you're going to have a get together, a dinner party, or a soiree of sorts. A Bojangler maybe at your place.
And you need extra beds.
No. But why are people leery of throwing parties at their homes? Because people tear up shit.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
true.
So now
I don't want my nice
this company
shit
comes in, puts up all your stuff, boxes it up, stores it where it's not going to get messed up in like a climate controlled container or something, and then brings in tables and couches and stuff that's party friendly, that's like cheap and who cares, it's not yours, and you maybe have some insurance on it and stuff like that. And they bring in glassware and bars and like all
speakers
the stuff that
and
you
sound
need to,
systems.
yeah, all the
everything
stuff
you
that
need
you
to
need
throw
to do.
the rager that you've always
Yeah.
wanted.
And then when you're done, they come by, they clean it up, and they bring all your furniture back. And now it's like you're getting multiple homes by only owning one, or multiple apartments or homes by only owning one apartment or home. And nobody would ever do that if they had to move the furniture. But if somebody was going to come do it for me and then bring it back, totally would do that.
Oh, for a small premium? Like, how long would it take 2 guys in a truck? That's also
business, yeah.
2 individuals and a motor vehicle to move stuff out of a single room and then bring stuff back in.
Yeah, obviously, depending on what you want. I mean, I feel like that couldn't take more than like 2 hours at the most, but like more than likely in most cases, it's probably going to be a 45-minute job to move the stuff out.
Absolutely.
Maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours total. But I feel like I would pay a couple $100 for that service because it's not something I'm going to be using all the time. And if my in-laws are coming into town, right?
Yeah. I
don't have in-laws, but in this magical world I do. My in-laws are coming into town. They can spend, $200 a night on a hotel. And now I feel weird. Do I help pay for the hotel? Do I invite them to stay even though I don't have a spare bedroom and then like sleep on air? How does that work? Or I pay $300 and they have a place to sleep for an entire week.
Yeah, exactly.
In my house.
Yeah, and since it's done so quickly, if you needed to use that office, let's say Monday evening, easily show up Monday and have everything swapped out.
Yeah, maybe you charge a little extra for like same day service kind of thing.
Absolutely. If you could push it to Tuesday, save yourself a couple bucks, and then also have cleaning services in the beginning and after, right? Because if we're sending somebody out there to clean
before and after.
Yeah. Hey, let's hit the whole house real quick.
And that's like an added benefit. And maybe you could even select that. Like, hey, I've got the perfect name for it.
Hang on.
Okay, but that's like an added benefit. You can also do a cleaning service. So like you just want the room that you're talking about cleaned before and after, that's this premium. If you want to go ahead and give your entire house, a quick scrub, that's another premium.
Now, do you think this would have a spare room in your house where you would keep empty and then swap things in and out as you need?
I feel like some people could possibly do that. I feel like that's kind of not the purpose. The purpose is you get to make the room whatever it is that you want the room to be, and then you get the added benefit of it being a spare bedroom. But I feel like that is a possibility. You could just have a room that you had empty, and then you kind of made it one good thing about this idea, I feel like, especially compared to the other, well, at least the planes, trains, and tanks idea, this would be a really cheap startup.
Yeah,
if you did it on a small scale and you weren't trying to do it like full time as your like main source of income, and you were just trying to do it kind of like,
it lends itself to the weekend.
I feel like it would be a very easy, and maybe you would start it as part of a moving company. Actually, here's a shout out to all the people who have moving companies out there. You're already set up to do this. Add this to your repertoire. This would complement your business perfectly. It would be easy to do. It'd be easy to set up. You already have the equipment. You already have the personnel. You already have space. The only thing you'd really need to do is get storage space, which I feel like wouldn't be really hard to do. And maybe even you could give them the option of, like I said, like the pods idea, where they even keep their stuff on site, like in the driveway or the backyard or side yard or something like that. So if they needed to go get something from in there or wanted to go, or just the ease and the
if you've got some expensive
comfort
equipment,
of having it right there. Yeah.
Or you could store it somewhere else in the house. Like, hey, if you have a set downstairs in your basement and it's just too heavy to bring up the stairs, it's a service where we help fill out the parts you don't have and supplement the parts you do have.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah. But in-law suite name. What do you think?
In-law suite name.
No. That's the name. In-law suite.
Ooh. Yeah, because I feel like your in-laws are the ones that visit more than your actual family for some reason.
It'd be good for friends and stuff. The problem with friends is like most of the time when your friends come over, he does not like you.
I've been in his space. Yeah. No, of course not.
Yeah, he has no problem with Hisham. He just doesn't like you.
I wasn't a dog guy 3 years ago, and I got a dog like 2 years ago.
Maybe he smells your dog. Maybe that's what it is.
Ooh, yeah, the Yorkie smell.
Yeah.
It's very
intimidating. He doesn't like Yorkies.
Really?
I don't know. I just made that up. But what's the name of this? You don't like in-law suite. Or wait, is that what I call it? Yeah, the in-law suite. I think because like that's what people call it when you have like you're advertising a house and it has like a spare room like above the garage or like an attic or in
or like a single studio attached from the house,
or like if you have like a little house, whatever cottage thing you want to call it, out in the backyard, they always will call it like the in-law suite. So that's kind
wife swap. No, room swap.
No.
I like
I
Swap.
feel like Room Swap is already isn't that?
Is that a game show?
No, that's Rooms to Go. Sorry, not Room Swap, Rooms to Go.
So this feels like.
What if would you also have people, and would you maybe offer this? And I'm not, like I said, not trying to do like a rent-a-center here, right? But like, let's say you have people who they like constantly kind of like updating their look and updating their furniture and stuff like that. And they actually, or maybe they're temporarily living somewhere. Like they're living somewhere for like 3 or 4 months and they rented out this apartment. Or you're an apartment, you're like a landlord and you want to furnish this apartment and you kind of want to keep, but you don't want to tie up the money, the investment to
purchase all the furniture.
Maybe you could use some service like this as well.
Well, I do know that for some apartments, companies can contract out to have it furnished.
Well, yeah,
or
but,
staged.
But that's like, ooh, and another thing I haven't even thought about for this too. You're a realtor, right? And you're trying to sell a house. What looks better, a house that's empty or a house that has nice furniture that like shows how it could be decorated?
I think one step farther, the realtor figures out who's looking at the house and what they're into, and then change the style based on that, because your inventory is going to be so large.
Yeah. And that's what I was talking about. Kind of like all of these things that we're talking about exist as businesses already. Like there are companies that go in and set up houses with furniture for realtors. There are people who have furnished apartments. There's places like Rent-A-Center or whatever the case may be. But this is more of a temporary thing, or like I said, the biggest thing is you want to use your room for a game room 50 out of 52 weeks of the year. And those 2 weeks you want it turned into a guest bedroom, and you can do that. And like, let's say you're having, someone in your family is getting married and you have a lot of family in town and you want to turn like your entire house into just, your living room and all of your bedrooms and all your rooms into just bedrooms and places for people to stay, or no bedrooms and places for people to come and congregate and stuff like that. That's what this is really for. But I could see many, many uses for it. Like you said, the realtor thing, the furnished apartment thing, or the person who's like, man, I really kind of like to try new things with my furniture, and like I get tired of stuff and I want to constantly kind of update my look and update my furniture, but I don't want to constantly spend the thousands of dollars on furniture to...
I also like this idea as like an argument settler, where you and your significant other want the room to be a thing, so you could try it out for a couple weeks.
What if you had like a club where you're like
a dance club?
No. Like a membership club. They have all these clubs with the boxes where they send you different like watches, monthly subscription.
Box. Yeah.
Maybe monthly is too soon or like too quick, but like every 2 or 3 months, or maybe you could choose, but where every month or so they come in and redecorate a room in your house, and you could get to choose which room that is. So it's like living room or bedrooms or whatever the case may be. That way your house always has a new look that you're kind of going with. Who this would be great for would be like Instagram bloggers and people like that.
Very similar to that is if you had a profile, and to pick on sleep number, like if you like the 55 setting, so you're right in the middle, you could tell them, hey, I know you're using the app. I prefer this brand of bed because I've had it before and I've slept really, really great on it. That way you get to pick out what you're walking into. So like if you're like a parent and you're visiting your 4 kids once a week, you could tell them, hey, this is the bed I want, have it staged at your house. And they're more than welcome to oblige, because hotels are so expensive and they get their office the other 50 whatever weeks of the year.
Yeah. Like I said, I think there are a ton of uses for this. I think the main one would, like you said, be people who are going to visit family, or children are family, but like family or friends from out of town. And instead of paying for and you know what? Let's say you lived out of town. I was coming to visit you and you were like, hey, you can stay at my place and we'll use this app, right? And maybe similar to Uber, you could do like split the cost. So like you could send me, half the price. And I'm like, what's $500 for the 4 days I'm going to be there to split this room. So I can spend $250, split it, and it's still cheaper than a hotel would be for those 4 or 5 days.
Oh, absolutely.
And I can have it exactly like I want. Like you said, I can have it with the bed that I want. I can pick out the sheets that I want, the pillows that I want, the whatever I want,
Exactly.
Hang on. Thank you for listening to our show. To participate, send your comments or business ideas to thehangonpodcast@gmail.com. Keep us motivated by subscribing to us on YouTube and iTunes. And tell a friend. This is the Hang On Podcast. It was an honor. See you next week.